guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here. Well, I'm hoping you guys will enjoy this video. You know how I end every single video with please, comment? Well, a lot of you do, which I love, but a lot of you have very specific questions regarding your upcoming trips. And I don't always get a chance to answer all of those, especially since as a travel agent, I'm not really allowed to speak upon your trip if I didn't book it. It's kind of a legal thing. So when you guys go into particulars of, hey, my wife said this, my kids want to do this, should we do this? I can't usually respond because I'm just really not supposed to. But I took all of your questions that you guys have been asking, a lot of those kind of detailed questions, and I put them in a list here, and I'm actually going to answer all of your questions right now. So you guys stay tuned because something you've been wondering yourself could be in these questions. Now, I specifically chose questions that many people could be wondering as opposed to very specific, I arrive on this day, I'm doing this thing, what should I do? But I'm hoping these help you out, guys, so let's get started. Again, forgive me because I'm gonna be reading the questions. First question. Nina, do they still have phone chargers that you can purchase at Disney World? You know, the ones in the vending machines, the kind that you would buy and then trade when empty. So I'm assuming this person is talking about the fuel rod. The fuel rod is something that came out quite a bit ago. It is a backup battery charger for your phone. It is something that you buy out of like this vending machine device. And it comes with not only this like rod looking backup battery, but it comes with all the connectors to hook to your various devices. So the answer is yes. Yes, they still have fuel rod machines. In fact, you can look up portable chargers on the app and it will bring it up. Of course, they don't mention the word fuel rod. Not sure why, but yes, they still have those vending machines throughout property. They are not everywhere. They are not exactly around every corner, but you can find them. And for those of you who want to know more about fuel rods are great. When they first came out, I loved them. I actually bought one. Now I'm at the point where the fuel rod charge isn't long enough for me, and to constantly find a fuel rod vending machine isn't exactly convenient. So I ended up just buying my own different type of portable charger. But it's great when you're in a pinch. It's great when you're in the park and you're like, oh no, I have to charge my phone. I think they're roughly about $30. And what's great about them is that you pay that one-time fee, right? The big fee, the 30 bucks. And then when your fuel rod kind of drains out, you can either take it back to the room and charge it yourself, or you can find one of those vending machines and actually pop it in the slot and it will give you a brand new fully charged fuel rod. Now, a couple issues back, fuel rod came out and said, we're not gonna leave Disney, but we're gonna charge you more money for all the refills, basically getting more and more fuel rods. It upset many people, and I think they kind of backtracked a little bit, so I don't think they charge you anymore if you want to recharge, take an old one, put it in to get a new one, but they could be. I'm not really sure on the whole price of that right now, because like I said, it's something I don't use anymore. But yes, to answer your question, they 100% still have those machines throughout property. Again, look it up because they give you a map online. Next question. Okay, if I was to make reservations for Savi's workshop, I know I get to make those 60 days out, but do I make them 60 days out from our trip like I would dining, or do I make them 60 days out from the day we're actually going to Hollywood Studios? It's a fair question, pretty good question. The answer is it's 60 days from the start of your trip, from the day you basically start your Disney World vacation package. So if you are starting your package, if you arrive on December 3rd, then 60 days before December 3rd, even if you're not going to Hollywood Studios that day, is the day you would get dining, Savi's workshop, and any other of those reservation type things. Just note, those Star Wars experiences actually come out at midnight. They don't come out at 6 a.m. like dining does. So make sure you look into that to make sure you definitely get your Savi's workshop. Next question. I read that Christmas is starting November 12th. That's true. Disney came out and said that. It was in my updates video. How does this affect the fact that I've already booked my trip for early November, as I was hoping to be able to start my trip with Halloween and end my trip at Christmas? We leave November 5th. I really need to see Christmas decorations. I promised my entire family they were gonna have Christmas festivities. Please tell me it's okay. It's a really difficult question because I'm not Mickey Mouse. I have no idea when all these so-called festivities will begin. I do know that a Christmas officially starts November 12th. I do know that the first Christmas party is November 8th. So in terms of Christmas festivities, not sure you're gonna get much of that. But I do know that really when Halloween ends, Christmas does begin essentially the next day. Disney is hard at work turning Magic Kingdom into its Christmas overlay, so to speak. And they do the same for all the resorts and all the parks as they can. So I can pretty much guarantee you're gonna see Magic Kingdom Christmas decorations. As far as festivities, it really just kind of depends what you're talking about, because as you said, Christmas does officially start November 12th, and with the party starting November 8th, I can only assume they would have at least everything set at Magic Kingdom within that time period, within at least a couple of days of November 8th. So November 3rd, 4th, 5th, not sure what you're gonna see, because again, that's like the process time. That's when they're putting stuff up versus that's when things are done. So I really don't know how to advise. If you really truly need all of Christmas to be happening during your trip, you might want to push it back a week. I mean, that's just my honest suggestion. Okay, next question. Can you take the Skyliner from Epcot to Hollywood Studios? Or if you can't, what is the best way to get from Hollywood Studios to Epcot? Okay, good question. First, yes, you can take the Skyliner from Epcot to Hollywood Studios. The issue is it's not a direct route. The Skyliner doesn't actually connect Hollywood Studios to Epcot. The Skyliner goes in like this weird, I can't even call that, zigzag pattern. So you actually have to go over to Caribbean Beach Resort first, get off your Skyliner, and transfer over to the other line. It's kind of a pain, so it's not really a direct route, but at the same time, you're on the Skyliner, you're having fun, it's a great view, it's a new experience. Maybe it's worth it to you. How I would personally get from Epcot to Hollywood Studios, I'd walk. That's right, I just walk. You can actually walk from Epcot to Hollywood Studios. What is it, like 15 to 20 minutes? The only way I wouldn't walk is if it's just so grossly hot out. If it's so grossly hot out, I would probably try to catch a friendship boat that I would get at Epcot towards the International Gateway there as you're exiting Epcot, and then you take it to Hollywood Studios. It does stop at a few other points, but at least you're not walking in the high heat. So yeah, that's kind of your options, is Skyliner, boat, or walk. Technically, I guess you could take a bus, but buses just aren't my favorite. So yeah, me personally, I would walk. This is an interesting question. I want you guys to comment on this one if you can, because I want to know your take on this. When do you tip bellhop? Specifically, when do you tip bellhop if not only are you dropping off your bags to bellhop, but you're then picking them up again later in the day? Do you tip when you drop off, or do you tip when you pick up? The same point, when it's time to pick up, do you have to pick up, or will bellhop bring it to your room for you? Now, so this is a very interesting question, because tipping is I don't know, it's not 100% science, right? It's really kind of just personal opinion, personal take. So I don't know. What I personally do is I kind of tip it both. I tip when they drop off my bags because A, they deserve the tip, and B, I want them to handle my bags with care. And then yes, I do tip my bags. Obviously, if they take the time to bring the bag up to my room, I will tip them again. Will I tip them when I pick up? Probably. Probably at least a couple of dollars. But yeah, it's a good question. So let me know, guys, if you could only tip the one time, would you tip when you drop off or would you tip when you pick up? I'm assuming if they deliver it to the room, that's kind of more work on their part. So for sure when they deliver it to your room, but it is an interesting question. Do you tip at both or one or the other? Next one. All right. So if we arrive at MCO, the airport, at 5 p.m., is it better or faster to take the Magical Express to our resort or to take an Uber or a cab? This is another difficult question because I don't know. Magical Express gets busy randomly at random times a day. I really don't know which is going to be faster for you until you get there. I mean, it's just really the honest answer. I have been at multiple times the same time of day for multiple trips, and sometimes the bus was right there. Sometimes I had to wait 20 minutes, or that dreaded time I had to wait hours. It was in that one video. Make sure you guys check that out. That was a fun night. It's just, you don't know. Magical Express does its own thing. I think usually it's not really more than a half an hour, but that's kind of like it's usually half an hour less. But yes, it can get pretty crazy long. So me personally, I would arrive, I would go check out Magical Express. And if the cast member there is like, no, it's gonna be hours, it's gonna be at least 90 minutes, then yes, then I would go ahead and consider an Uber or a cab. Just remember, you have to factor in how many suitcases you have and whether or not you have any kids who need any sort of car seat or booster, because not all those Ubers and cabs carry those items, nor can they carry all of your suitcases. But if you're just two people or one person, sorry, yeah, I would kind of see how long the line was first before I would make that decision. Okay, so if the new train, I'm assuming you guys have heard this, since the new train system has been canceled indefinitely, have you guys heard that whole Baseline or Brightline, whatever it was called, train that was supposed to go to Disney Springs and all these great things and it was gonna happen? Canceled. If that's canceled, does that mean Disney is bringing back the Magical Express? No, it doesn't mean that whatsoever. Disney has firmly said Magical Express is done after 2021. But they haven't exactly announced anything to replace it. They haven't announced if they are gonna suggest Mears, the new Mears Connect service that Mears will be operating. They haven't said a dang thing. So me personally, I'm not expecting Magical Express to come back, but I am expecting Disney to say something, like to suggest something, to allow us to book it in the reservation system. So yes, I'm still hopeful something is in the works, but no, I doubt it's Magical Express. Next question. My wife and I can't decide. Perhaps you can help. If we can only afford one Mickey character meal, should we do Chef Mickey's or Garden Grill? What do you guys think? First, I would probably say, where are you coming from? Where are you headed? Because if you're anywhere near Epcot, it's probably easier just to do Garden Grill. If you're hanging out at your resort for the day and you don't have a park reservation, then yes, Chef Mickey's is your answer. It might come down to just logistics of where you are, where you're coming from, what you're doing that day, and menu. Have you checked out the menu for both? I will say personally, I think you get more character interaction at Garden Grill. So if you have kiddos and you're really looking for that character interaction, I thought Garden Grill was fabulous for that. You guys might not know, I have a Garden Grill video, please check that out. Chef Mickey's, I will say, traditionally didn't have the best food, but they've gotten better at it. But yeah, I think it just really depends on what you're doing that day. If you're headed to Epcot and you're gonna be at Epcot, go ahead and do Garden Grill. But yeah, I think I kind of need more info to kind of answer that one specifically. All right, what is your favorite value resort and why? Good question. Again, it kind of depends on several factors. I think in general terms, I book Pop Century the most. I like Pop Century because it's on the Skyliner. And it's a decent resort for what's going on. Everything's kind of decently spaced, close enough to the lobby and the pool and all those things. So in general, probably Pop Century is my favorite value. But I love Art of Animation, especially if you are a family who's a little bit bigger and you're doing one of the family suites. Absolutely love the family suites at Art of Animation. I love how close those family suites are because the Nemo ones are close to the big blue pool, which is great. You're closest to the lobby and whatnot. And Art of Animation is also on the Skyliner. So it's a toss-up between Art of Animation and Pop Century, but if you're looking for just a standard 2-queen, Pop Century would be my answer. I am not a fan of the All-Stars at all. Plus you have to bus from them, so why bus when you can Skyliner, right? I guess that's kind of the answer to my question there. Okay, how long does it take to get from the Poly to Magic Kingdom, and which method is the fastest? Okay, good question. So when they say Poly, they mean the Polynesian Village Resort, which is over there on the monorail. So to get from Poly to Magic Kingdom, you have two options. You essentially can take a bus, or you can take the boat. Now in my one of my videos most recently when we went to Magic Kingdom, we actually took the boat. We took the boat from the Poly to the Magic Kingdom. The actual boat ride itself wasn't very long, like 5-7 minutes. The boat ride is fun. It's simple, it's easy. There's no traffic, it's great, love it. The issue with the boat is you have to wait. We waited, I think the boat basically was leaving when we arrived, so we had to wait that full 15 to 25 minutes for the boat to come back. But at the same time, you might have to wait that long for the bus. So assuming the boat and the bus are both there at the same time and you really need to pick between boat and bus, I'm gonna go with boat. The boat was fun, it was breezy, it was quicker than an actual bus. But again, it really just depends if the boat is there or the bus is there. And of course, you can't really do both because the boat and the bus are nowhere next to each other, so it's not even something you can kind of pinpoint. And of course, the quickest option or the best option in the end will be monorail, because here in a couple of weeks, the Polynesian monorail should be reopening, in which case I would say, just hop on that monorail. Love the monorail. Next question. Oh, I'm trying to get Be Our Guest for quick service. How do I do that? Easy answer, you don't. Be Our Guest does not have quick service anymore. It did pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, you could get Be Our Guest for quick service for both breakfast and lunch, and it was table service for dinner. Now it's just table service for both meals. So yeah, if you want Be Our Guest, you're gonna have to pay for table service, and I do believe it's in the 2 credit zone, so it is a rather pricey meal. Next question. If I have a Magic Band from Disney World, okay, can I add a ticket to Disneyland on it so that I can use the same Magic Band at Disneyland? I really don't want to have to purchase a new band. Thanks. All right, here's an easy question or answer for you. Disneyland does not use Magic Bands. Disneyland is not Magic Band accessible, so you can't do that. Disney World is the only theme park right now that uses Magic Band. So for Disneyland, you are gonna have to get a ticket or somehow link it onto your phone. So yeah, don't worry about the Magic Band when you are headed to Disneyland. Nina, do you know when Bippity Boppity Boutique is scheduled to reopen? No, I do not. I do not know because Disney hasn't announced it. Bippity Boppity Boutique is closed and has been this whole time during COVID. I don't expect Bippity Boppity to reopen anytime soon. Why? Because it's indoors, it's a small space, and you're really, really close to those cast members. I mean, they are doing hair, makeup, and nails. So yeah, I would expect character meals to return sooner than I would expect Bippity Boppity to come back. But if you go to the Facebook page, Ears for Each Other, there are some cast members on there who used to work with those fairy godmothers over at Bippity Boppity, and they might be able to do a makeover for you at your resort. So good tip for you guys there. Next question. Do I have to have park tickets or resort reservations to make a dinner reservation at Ohana? No, you don't need either. Why? Because Ohana is not in a theme park. Therefore, you do not need park tickets. You don't need resort reservations to eat Ohana because Ohana is free for anyone to drive to, walk to, bus to, whatever. But you do, however, need table service dining reservations. But no, you don't need to be going to a park. You don't need to be having a park ticket or any of those things. And for those of you who don't know, Ohana is at the Polynesian Village Resort. Next one. Nina, do you suggest we start the day at Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom? Because we want to do both in the same day. Well, again, it kind of depends what you're trying to do at each of those parks. But in general, I'm going to say, if it was me, I would start the day at Animal Kingdom. Why? Because it opens the soonest and it closes the soonest. I would end the day at Magic Kingdom because it's open later and hello, fireworks. So yeah, me personally, I would start at Animal Kingdom and end at Magic Kingdom. But again, it kind of just depends on what you're trying to accomplish from each park. That might factor into your decision as well. Nina, what do I do if park pass reservations are gone for Hollywood Studios and I really, really need to ride Rise of the Resistance? Which park should I hop from to make it the easiest? The answer is no parks, because you can't actually hop to Hollywood Studios and also ride Rise of the Resistance. The only way you're going to get a boarding group for Rise of the Resistance is if Hollywood Studios is your park of the day, meaning you have to have those park pass reservations for Hollywood Studios to ride Rise of the Resistance or to get the chance to get that boarding group. Of course, going to Hollywood Studios does not guarantee you the ability to ride Rise of the Resistance. You still also have to get that boarding group. So my suggestion is keep checking. They keep reopening up possibilities. Just keep checking. You never know when park pass reservations will reopen up. Good luck to you. My family wants to get magic bands. Oh dear. I just did a whole new magic band video on this, so make sure you watch that video. My family wants to get magic bands, but they aren't $5 like you said. And the colors are not the colors that my kids like. How can I get better colors and for $5? You can't. In fact, it's better if you just watch that video because I really do explain it. Magic bands were $5 months ago. Disney secretly changed them to $10. And with that, certain colors are just not there anymore. They have appeared to taken away those rainbow basic kind of bold colors and replaced them with different colors, and different characters are always popping up all the time. But I remember when Magic Band options would be 20 or 30 options. Now there's just kind of a handful. They kind of come and go all the time. I always tell my clients this, and odds are you're not going to find the perfect sweet spot where you're going to find all the bands that all of the family members love at the same time so that you can score them all. Someone's going to have to give in and not get the band of their choosing. It's just one of those things. I'm sorry to say that. But the cheaper plain colored bands are $10 right now. The $5 thing is long and gone. I'm sorry. They raised their prices yet again. Last question, guys. You ready for this one? If we want to eat at a fun table service meal, is it better to go at lunch or to go at dinner? And does it even matter? Again, something you guys can answer. What do you prefer? I think it depends on what you're doing, what your goal is, and if you have any children. If you have young children with you, I tend to suggest lunch. Go ahead and do that fun big meal at lunch because the kids could get cranky and you might have to leave and go back to your room, in which case you might have jumped in the pool, in which case to tell those kids we have to leave the pool so we can go to our fun dinner kind of gets hard. So yeah, if you have little kiddos, I almost suggest lunch. I prefer lunch myself because that means I can kind of walk off my lunch all day long. If you're just a couple, if you're just a couple adults, you might want dinner. You might want to have a nice dinner, have a couple glasses of wine or beer, and kind of chill out in the air conditioning right before you experience a nighttime show or fireworks, in which case dinner might be better for you. So again, a lot of these questions, I mean, some of them I was really easy, were easy to answer, but some of them really just depends on personal preference, what you're doing, what your plans are, what are your goals for the trip, and all those great things. But in general, I'm hoping answering these questions helped you guys out, because I know even if you didn't ask these questions, it might have prompted something else that set off a light bulb for you that helped you in a different way. So hopefully guys, you enjoyed this video. If you do, let me know, because I can do more of them. I get lots and lots of questions from you guys, which I love and appreciate, so keep them coming. So if you haven't already, guys, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications, like this video. I really appreciate it when you guys like the videos. And like I said, comment. There were some questions on here that I would love your take on. What was your opinion? When do you tip the bellhop? When you drop off the bags, when they deliver the bags, or both? What do you prefer, Chef Mickey's or Garden Girl? Let me know in the comments. Maybe you can help this viewer out. But as always, guys, mahalo for watching. Nina out.